On a frozen alien battlefield, a human soldier named Cole finds a young alien woman collapsed in the snow, breathing weakly. Her lips tremble as she whispers, "They left me, to die." Before Cole can ask who, a distant roar echoes across the ice. The woman in his arms is Princess Lyrana, but she begs him not to use her title. Lyrana reveals she was declared unfit for marriage by her own royal court because she was born with a small genetic flaw, one that does not affect her health, but affects her political value. She was taken into the mountains under the lie of a purification ritual. Instead, they tried to kill her. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The storm had been raging for hours across the frozen mountains of Aurellia. Sharp winds screamed through the broken rocks, carrying snow like tiny blades. The sky had turned black long before sunset, and the temperature kept dropping every minute. No human should have been out there alone. But Cole Walker, a human soldier from the peacekeeping unit, had no choice. His squad had been ambushed. A sudden energy blast had thrown everyone into chaos. When Cole woke up, he was half buried in ice, his radio dead, his armor cracked, and his breath forming thick clouds in the air. There were no bodies, no footprints, nothing. His team had simply vanished. Cole kept walking because stopping meant death. As he pushed through the storm, something caught his eye, something small and dark lying on the snow. At first, he thought it was an animal. But when he came closer, he froze. It was a woman. Her skin had a faint silver shine, the traits of an Aurellian. Her long white hair was tangled with frost. She was curled up, shaking violently, like she had been lying there for hours. The wind carried her weak breath, broken and fading. Cole rushed forward and knelt beside her. "Hey, can you hear me?" he asked, shaking her shoulder gently. Her eyes opened, beautiful violet eyes, dim but alive. She looked confused, frightened, and then her lips moved. "They left me," she whispered. "Left me, to die." Her voice cracked, barely able to speak. "Who left you?" Cole asked. But there was no time for answers. The wind shifted, and an animalistic roar echoed through the mountains. A sound so deep and sharp that it made the ground tremble. Her eyes widened in fear. "They're coming," she whispered. "They came to kill me." Cole didn't know who they were, but he didn't need more warning. He looked at the woman, her skin turning blue from cold, her fingers barely moving. She would die in minutes if left there. Without another thought, he slid his arms beneath her and lifted her into his chest. She was light, too. Light for her height, and her body shook with every breath. "Hold on," Cole said. "I've got you." Her head rested weakly against his shoulder as he trudged through the snow, trying to find shelter. A cave in the storm. After almost 20 minutes of climbing, he spotted a dark opening in a cliffside. A cave. He hurried inside before the storm swallowed them whole. The moment they crossed the entrance, the wind quieted. The cave was cold, but at least the storm couldn't reach them. Cole set her down gently against the wall. "Stay awake," he said. "What's your name?" She hesitated, as if speaking her name might bring danger. "Lyrana." Cole tore off a piece of his emergency blanket and wrapped it around her shoulders. "Okay, Lyrana, I'm Cole. I'm going to help you." Her eyes softened, surprised, confused, maybe even grateful. "You're human," she whispered. "And you're freezing," Cole answered, avoiding her comment. "Tell me what happened." She took a slow breath. "I was taken for a ritual," she said. "A marriage ritual." Her gaze dropped to the cave floor. "They said I was unfit for marriage. Unfit to join any noble family. Unfit to continue the bloodline." The way she said it carried deep shame, not because she believed it, but because she had been forced to believe it for so long. "What did they do?" Cole asked quietly. "The council declared me a failure," she said. "A flaw in my birth makes me useless in their eyes. They brought me here for purification. But purification was only a lie. They abandoned me, knowing I would die by cold or by the hunters." "Hunters?" Cole remembered the roar outside. "Are they hunting you now?" he asked. "Yes," she whispered. "They must return with proof of my death. Only then will they earn their reward." Before Cole could answer, he heard it, the same roar, louder this time, bouncing off the cave walls. The hunters were close. Cole moved to the cave entrance and peered into the storm. Strange shapes moved between the snow and darkness. Shadows with glowing red eyes and long, spear-like weapons. He cursed under his breath. "We have to move deeper," he said. "They'll search the entrance first. Lyrana tried to stand but collapsed instantly. Her legs were too numb. Cole grabbed her again, lifting her gently. She clung to him weakly. "You shouldn't help me," she said. "Humans and Aurelians are not allies. Your people are not welcome here." Cole shook his head. "I'm not leaving you to die. Doesn't matter what your people think." No one had ever said anything like that to her. She had lived her whole life surrounded by rules, expectations, and judgment. Never kindness, never warmth. A small breath escaped her, almost like a sob. "Why?" she whispered. Cole looked down at her. "Because nobody deserves to die alone." The hunters arrived. They moved deeper into the cavern. Cole's boots splashed in cold water pools. The tunnels stretched far inside the mountain, twisting like a maze. He followed the sound of air movement until they reached a small, hidden chamber. "Stay quiet," Cole whispered as he set her down. From somewhere in the cave, heavy footsteps echoed. Low growls followed. The hunters had entered the cavern. Cole drew his sidearm, his last working weapon, and checked the remaining charge. Only 3 shots left. Not great. He crouched beside Lyrana. "If they find us, I want you behind me. Understand?" She stared at him, confused again. "No Aurelian male ever protected me," she whispered. "Well," Cole said softly, "I'm human." The noise grew louder, voices speaking in a harsh alien tongue, blades scraping against stone. Cole positioned himself between the chamber entrance and Lyrana. Light flickered through the tunnel, a hunter's torch. Then another, and another. 6 shadows approached, tall and armored, moving with the calm certainty of predators. Cole held his breath. One of the hunters stopped near the chamber opening. Its claws scraped the stone. It sniffed the air. Cole tightened his grip on his gun. Just one wrong move and they were dead. The hunter slowly turned its head toward the chamber. Cole raised his weapon. Crack. A piece of stone fell from the ceiling deeper in the tunnel. The hunter spun toward the sound and roared. All 6 hunters rushed away, chasing the noise. Cole exhaled shakily. "We're not safe here anymore," he whispered. "They'll sweep the tunnels." Lyrana nodded weakly. "There is a deeper path. An old passage. My people are afraid of it. They think it's cursed." "Cursed sounds better than dead," Cole said. He lifted her again, and they moved into the narrow passage. Deeper darkness. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Strange markings were carved into the walls, old symbols, long forgotten. Lyrana brushed her fingers across them. "These are ancient, older than my empire," she whispered. "No one comes here anymore." "Let's hope the hunters think the same," Cole said. But something was wrong. The ground began to rumble beneath their feet. The walls shook lightly, dust falling from above. Cole stopped. "Earthquake?" Lyrana shook her head slowly. "No, not an earthquake. Something else." The rumbling grew stronger. A crack raced across the stone wall in front of them. And then another. Cole stepped back, pulling Lyrana close. The entire wall burst open with a deafening roar. A blinding light shot out from inside, blue, bright, ancient, and powerful. Cole shielded Lyrana with his body as chunks of stone crashed around them. The wind inside the tunnel changed direction, swirling like a storm trapped underground. When Cole finally opened his eyes, the dust began to settle. Behind the broken wall was not a monster, not a creature, not a natural cave. It was a doorway. A doorway leading into a massive hidden chamber filled with floating lights, metal structures, and glowing symbols. Technology far older than anything Cole had seen. Lyrana stared in shock, her voice trembling. "This shouldn't exist," she whispered. "This is a forgotten Aurelian vault, buried before our empire was born." Before Cole could respond, a loud roar echoed from behind them. The hunters had found the passage. Their shadows approached quickly. "Cole," Lyrana whispered, fear rising in her voice, "they want me dead, but they fear you more." Cole tightened his grip on her shoulder. "Then let's give them a reason." He lifted her in his arms and stepped into the glowing chamber as the hunters' footsteps thundered closer. The doorway sealed behind them with a flash of light. And the moment the glowing doorway sealed shut behind them, the noise of the hunters vanished. No roars, no footsteps, only silence. Cole slowly lowered Lyrana to her feet. She leaned against a metal pillar, catching her breath. The chamber around them was huge, large enough to hold an entire ship. Strange machines floated in the air, humming softly. Circular platforms glowed with blue light. Tall crystal-like structures pulsed like beating hearts. Cole stared around, amazed. "What is this place?" Lyrana shook her head, still shocked. I've only heard stories, very old stories. My people say our ancestors once had technology so advanced it looked like magic. But all of it was lost during the first collapse. She took a slow breath. This must be from that age. Cole moved closer to one of the floating spheres. It emitted a soft hum, then scanned him with a beam of light. He stepped back quickly. Hey, what are you doing? He muttered. Lyrana reached for his arm. Do not touch anything more. These machines are ancient. We don't know what they might do. Cole nodded. But behind the awe and wonder, two problems remained. 1. The hunters were still outside. 2. Lyrana was still weak. Cole knelt beside her and checked her pulse. It was stronger than before, but her body still shook from cold and exhaustion. You need heat, he said. Food, rest, something. Lyrana gave a weak smile. You saved me, twice. That is more than anyone has ever done. Cole shook his head. I'm not leaving you here to die. Not after everything. Her eyes softened again. Every word from him felt new to her, unfamiliar, almost unbelievable. All her life, she had been treated like a flaw, an embarrassment, a problem the royal court didn't want to face. But this human, this street ranger, looked at her like she mattered. A forgotten power source. Suddenly, one of the floating crystals changed color from blue to white. A beam of warm light shot downward, bathing Lyrana in a gentle glow. She gasped softly as warmth spread across her skin. Cole stepped back, surprised. Is it helping you? Lyrana closed her eyes. Yes, it is a healing lattice. A very old one. The energy is harmless. The blue glow made her skin shine like silver metal touched by the sun. Slowly, the shaking stopped. Her breathing steadied. A bit of color returned to her cheeks. When the glow faded, she lifted her head. I feel alive again. Good, Cole said, because we're not out of danger yet. He checked his gear, only one shot left in his sidearm, cracked armor, and no radio signal at all. So what now? Cole asked. Lyrana stepped closer to the center of the chamber, where a tall pillar held a glowing circular device. We find a way out, she said. And before that, there is something you must know. Why she was marked to die. Lyrana placed her hand on the pillar. Blue runes appeared under her touch. My people said I was unfit for marriage, she said quietly. Unfit to carry the bloodline. But that was a lie. Cole frowned. You told me it was because of some genetic flaw. Lyrana nodded slowly. Yes, but the flaw was not what they said. She looked up at him, her voice shaking. I am the last living descendant of the peace bloodline. A family that believed Aurellians and humans could coexist. A family that wanted unity, not war. Cole's eyes widened. So your death would help the war faction take over? Yes. She swallowed hard. If I died, the council could claim our peace bloodline was extinct. Then they would have full control. They would begin a new expansion war. And humans would be the first target. Cole clenched his jaw. So they tried to destroy the one person who could stop that. Lyrana nodded. And because I cannot fight, because I am not a warrior like others, they said I was weak. Worthless. But the truth is, they were afraid of me. Cole stepped closer. You're stronger than they ever knew. Her eyes glistened, but she wiped the tears quickly. The hunter's breakthrough. A loud crash echoed behind the sealed doorway. Then another, and another. Cole and Lyrana turned at the same time. The hunters had found the hidden mechanism. They were trying to break in. Cracks spread across the glowing doorway. Sparks flew. The blue light flickered. They're coming, Cole muttered. But we're not ready. Lyrana looked around the chamber with sudden urgency. There must be weapons here. Old ones. Something our ancestors used. She ran toward another pillar, touching the symbols. The air shimmered, and a pedestal rose from the flow. Or, carrying what looked like a metallic spear made of pure energy. Cole stared at it. That looks dangerous. It is, Lyrana said. Take it. Cole hesitated only a moment before grabbing the weapon. The moment he touched it, the spear extended with a flash of blue light. Powerful, light, deadly. I could get used to this, Cole muttered. Lyrana managed a small smile. The hunters entered the doorway shattered with a deafening boom. 6 hunters stormed into the chamber, their eyes glowing red, their weapons raised. They saw Lyrana and roared, a roar filled with hatred and triumph. Cole stepped forward, spear in hand. Stay behind me, he said. The hunters charged. Cole didn't wait. He sprinted forward, the energy spear humming. The first hunter swung a massive blade. Cole ducked under it and slashed across its chest. The weapon cut through armor like it was cloth, sending the hunter crashing backward. The second hunter leapt at him. Cole blocked the attack with the spear's shaft, sparks flying. He twisted, drove the spear upward, and dropped the second hunter. But there was still 4 more. One rushed him from behind. "Cole!" Lyrana shouted. Cole turned too late. The hunter slammed into him, throwing him across the chamber. His back hit a pillar so hard he saw stars. The spear flew from his grip. 2 hunters moved toward Lyrana. No, Cole forced himself up, but pain shot through his ribs. Lyrana backed away, eyes wide, breathing fast. She had no weapon, no strength to fight them. A hunter raised its blade, and then something unbelievable happened. Lyrana's hidden power, a sharp, bright light burst from Lyrana's chest, a pulse of blue energy that shot outward like a shockwave. It hit the 2 hunters first, hurling them across the chamber like ragdolls. Then the wave hit the rest, knocking them all to the ground. Cole stared, speechless. Lyrana looked down at her trembling hands. I didn't know I could do that," she whispered. Cole managed a weak laugh. "Remind me never to stand in front of you when you're angry." She almost smiled, but the danger wasn't gone. The hunters staggered back to their feet. Some limped, some bled, but all still lived. "We have to escape," Lyrana said. "Now." She grabbed Cole's arm and pulled him toward the far end of the chamber, where a circular platform glowed softly. "What's this?" Cole asked. "A transport lift," she said. "It should take us to the surface." The hunters roared behind them. They stepped onto the platform. The ancient symbols lit up, the chamber shook, a blinding white light flashed, and the next moment, they stood outside on the mountain's peak. Cold wind hit their faces. The sky was clearer now. Stars shimmered above them, but peace lasted only seconds. Because as the Y looked ahead, dozens of Aurellian soldiers stood in formation, armored, armed, waiting. A commander stepped forward, pointing a spear at Lyrana. "There she is," he shouted. "The failed princess. Kill her, now." Cole stepped in front of her again. "No one's touching her," he said. The soldiers hesitated. A human soldier standing against an entire Aurelian patrol. This was not something they had ever seen. Suddenly, the whir of engines echoed from above. A large ship descended, heavy and regal. The Aurelian emperor himself stepped out. He walked calmly toward Cole and Lyrana, his cloak flowing in the wind. His face showed surprise when he saw Lyrana alive, and held close to a human. He studied Cole, then asked, "Human soldier, why did you save her?" Cole met the emperor's eyes without fear. "Because she matters. Because she deserves to live. Because what your people did to her was wrong." A long silence followed. Finally, the emperor spoke. "If a human can see value in the daughter we cast aside," he said slowly, "then perhaps we were the ones who were blind." He turned to the soldiers. "Lower your weapons. The princess lives, and she returns with honor." The soldiers dropped to one knee. Lyrana trembled, not with fear, but with disbelief. Then the emperor looked at Cole. "You saved her life. For that, you have mine. From this moment, you are assigned as her personal guardian." Lyrana's eyes filled with emotion. She stepped closer to Cole and whispered, "They left me to die, but you held me in your arms. I will never forget that." Cole smiled softly. "And I'm not going anywhere." Together, they walked toward the emperor's ship, toward a new future. A future neither of them had expected. A future that would change the fate of 2 worlds.